Oh, I didn't write an intro. This can be my intro. It's bad. It's fine. You should subscribe because not that many people who watch these are subscribed. I feel like such a YouTuber. I'm gonna have clips of me skating during this video, but I'm also just gonna talk because I feel like I have things that will be better explained if I can just speak them instead of trying to just write it all out in those little text blurbs on the screen. So yeah, I think the videos will be better if I'm speaking. So I'm speaking. In October of 2020, I started taking these learn to skate lessons, which were sort of my first foray into like really trying to ice skate instead of just, hey, it's Christmas time, we should go to the ice rink. That would be fun, wouldn't it? This time I was really trying. I really wanted to do well, and I didn't. I fell on everything. I fell, on the most basic things of like skating backwards or trying to glide on one foot. I just had no idea what I was doing. But I loved it, and I was super excited to keep going and keep coming back. I signed up for extra practice sessions, and I actually moved up fairly quickly. Hi, it's a different day. Don't worry about it. Anyways, from the months of December to the middle of April, the rink was closed because of the world being a very strange place right now, and so I don't count those months because I wasn't skating. So, 5 months. It's been 5 months. Here's a couple things that I've been doing over the past 5 months. A little teaser for you. Back at the start of my 4th month, I was working on the gamma and delta skills like 3 turns. It was really hard for me to sustain the edge coming out of the 3 turn where you're actually like gliding backwards and skating and on an edge, right? So to help with actually being able to sustain the edge, I did just plain old edge work, backward edges. While they're still not perfect, they're pretty okay. So, for jumping, I can currently do 2 things, and then I'm kind of maybe starting to try and work on a 3rd. So the first thing I learned was the half flip, and it's a pretty small kind of hop-y jump, and I have them down pretty solid. I'm very confident with them. I honestly don't practice them too much just because I don't feel like there really is anywhere to go with them. They're more sort of like a little introduction to the feeling of rotating in the air than anything else. Also, I have waltz jumps, and they've gotten a bit bigger recently as I've, gotten more confident in trying to jump and just tried to do them more, right? They're still not the best. They still have a long way to go before they're like, really solid, but I think considering where I am with the rest of my skating, they're pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how they've turned out. I have also once tried to do a salchow. I am not trying to teach myself how to do a salchow, and I will not attempt it again until my coach shows me the proper technique. But I was just like, hey, I'm gonna try and make an educated guess as to how a salchow might work. And so I did that, and then I was like, okay, that's it. I'm not trying to get any bad habits and teach myself stuff, okay? I'm waiting until my coach brings it up. I was just curious. Other big one that you learn in the later bit of Learn to Skate is the mohawk. And these are actually a bit simpler for me. Sure, they were clunky and awkward at first, but as I did them more, I picked them up pretty quickly. Recently, one of my favorite things to do when I'm warming up has been to do mohawks into backward crossovers. So you're basically just crossing your foot over a bunch of times. And it's a really great way to just, get in touch with my legs right at the start of the session, okay, ready to go, let's go work on things. In terms of the more like showy, fancy footwork things, I have all my forward and backward spirals, although my legs are not always straight and my toes are not always pointed. I am sorry, it's a problem. I need to work on it. Another footwork thing that I do a fair amount is the lunge, and my right side of my lunges is a lot better. On my left side, I still have to put my hand on the ice to help me back up sometimes. And these are fun. I don't really have any issues with flexibility, and I'm generally strong enough to pull myself back up. It's just the left side's a little wobbly. It's my worst side in general. Spins, there isn't too much to say because honestly, I've just been getting more comfortable with them as I do them. But I can spin, not particularly well, but pretty okay. It's pretty okay. So I'm mainly using the pivot entry of just doing like, you know, half-ish a rotation of a pivot and then pulling in and spinning. And I mean, it works pretty well, but I definitely want to work more on my backwards crossover entry because that's the one that's more common to use to like actually incorporate into programs or sequences of things. And yeah, that's basically skating, you know, the big thing that I've been doing these past couple months. I don't want to drag out the outro because it's the boring part of the video. So, bye!